everyone, so today I have a very interactive video. Basically, I'm going to be talking about something that I think affects everyone, that I think everyone has very different opinions and thoughts on, so I thought it would be a fun topic to just go ahead and jump right into. So yes, the topic is about when you text someone and they don't text you back. And so I kind of wanted to explore the options of how that makes you feel and how that makes the other person feel, what they're thinking, maybe why they didn't text you back, and then how you can kind of move forward and move on from that, because I think it happens to everyone and I think we've all been there at one point. But so if your answer was you get upset or you feel like someone blew you off or something like that, the good thing to think about is kind of put yourself in their shoes. So I'm sure if you're into texting and you text people a lot, you've probably had someone text you before that you didn't answer. It's good to look at it that way because so easily, can we ignore people and maybe quote unquote blow them off and not really think about it, but then when someone does it to us, like we feel upset about it and we feel like it's wrong and all this stuff. And so I think a good way to think about it is just think like, do you do that to people? For the most part, when I don't answer someone, it's because I don't have an answer to what they're asking me, or I don't want to give them the answer that they're wanting, or sometimes I don't really have any desire to talk to them. And I know that sounds kind of blunt and kind of rude, but sometimes it's just how it is. And so another question I have for you guys is, if someone ignores you, and they have a reason for ignoring you, like they're just not that interested in you, they just don't really want to talk to you, would you rather they tell you or they just ignore you and don't tell you? For me personally, I would say obviously it's more like hurtful and offensive if they're like, hey look, I don't like you, stop texting me. But I think it's helpful because I'm the type of person that if I don't have an answer, I make up my own answer in my head and I start thinking of hundreds of scenarios, and I'm a pretty cautious person to begin with. And I also have a big imagination, so I tend to think of all these things that may have happened or all these things that they may be thinking, and for the most part that's not the case. They fell asleep or they got bored or they started dating someone else or whatever. There's always a reason that pretty much makes sense. I tend to think that if someone doesn't answer you one time, it's not end all be all, that's it. I think if you text them a bunch of times in a row and they never answer, then it's probably pretty clear that they're not going to and they don't want to. I think, again, like I said, a lot of people really just hate the not having an answer, and I think that's what drives them the craziest. So now on to the next topic is playing hard to get and texting games and rituals. Do you guys have any things that you do when you're texting? Do you have any ways that you like to text? I have a friend that she will never text the guy first. If she likes a guy, she will never text him first. So, maybe he will text her first a few times and then for whatever reason he doesn't text and she gets upset about it. But I'm like, okay, well, you should text him, see what he's up to. And she won't. She will not. She's just no, I just don't do that. I always wait on the guy to text me. I'm never going to text him first. And, sometimes they'll go a few days without talking and then he'll text and then she'll respond, whatever. And I just think that's kind of funny, but I see why I guess she wouldn't want to do it. She tells me that she doesn't want to seem too eager, she's chasing after him and stuff, but I think sometimes what might happen is, you don't want to text the guy first and they don't want to text you first and then you just don't end up talking. So I think when it comes to that, you just have to kind of assess how much you want to talk to them. And the worst thing that could happen would be they don't answer or they tell you that they don't want to talk to you. Another funny thing, a little texting ritual, would be double texting people. And a lot of people have really strong feelings about this. They think if you send a text and someone doesn't answer, you cannot send another one. You can't send another thought, send another question, that's it. You get one text back and forth, that's how it goes. And I would say I don't agree to this, but I think if you send them a text and they don't answer, you could definitely send them one more, but I would make it something that's easy for them to respond to. I think a lot of times people say, hey, what's up? And someone says, oh, nothing much, you. What are you doing? Oh, not really anything, watching TV. And there's nothing to really talk about. So a big thing that's helpful is if they don't respond to your first text, maybe wait an hour, wait 2 hours, whatever, and then send them another one with a question. And then if they don't respond to that, they probably just don't want to respond. But I think a lot of times people don't respond because they don't know what to say. So if you ask them what they're doing and they're not really doing anything fun, maybe they don't want to say it and sound like they're not doing anything exciting. So maybe go ahead and send them another question that would be something they could answer. That's when I think texting twice in a row without a response is okay, because I think it's kind of furthering the conversation on, because if you send someone a question that they don't want to answer and they don't answer, you know, and you don't write again, that's the end of the conversation. And if you don't want it to be, you should definitely try to add something in there that they can answer to and that they feel more comfortable talking about. Don't freak out and be like, why aren't you answering me? Why aren't you texting me? And I think that's the number one thing that like girls want to do when they're not getting the response that they like. But I can definitely tell you that's never going to go over well. There have been times when I've wanted to say to someone like, why aren't you answering me? You know, what's up? What are you doing? Is something wrong? But then I've had someone do it back to me, and I don't know, there's something about it that's just not that attractive and not that appealing when someone starts questioning you and asking you what's wrong, especially if there is nothing wrong or if you didn't do anything. So kind of getting accused like that, it can just be very off-putting. It can kind of just make them feel in a bad way towards you. So I definitely would say don't do that. You know, if all else fails, just go do something with your time. Go read a book, watch a movie, go hang out with friends, and maybe you'll realize that they texted you in that time that you weren't like just sitting on your phone thinking about it. I think it's such a universal topic and something that everyone has such a strong feeling towards one way or another, so I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. Let me know if you like this type of video, because I'll definitely do more if you do, and I'll see you guys later.